For countless generations, civilizations have been shaped by signs that stretch far beyond simple logic. These were never random flickers, but secret invitations, a cosmic dialogue between the visible and the invisible, written in the language of dreams, visions, natural wonders, and uncanny intuition. Behind the veil of ordinary life, your spirit guides are forever sending you messages, hidden clues, subtle warnings, unlikely synchronicities. When you learn to read these signs, reality itself begins to unravel its deepest mysteries at your feet. The world's oldest texts whisper the same truth. A secret current flows between your soul and the higher forces that orchestrate the universe. And it's through 5 fundamental signs that these spirit guides reveal their presence and guidance, rewriting the path your life will take and awakening reservoirs of potential you never suspected. Within the ancient verses of the Bhagavad Gita, penned in India between 400 and 200 years before the Common Era, Krishna ushers Arjuna through a battlefield both earthly and cosmic. Here, true guidance rings not from the noise of the world, but from the crystalline whisper of intuition. Intuition, in this sacred tale, becomes the voice of the divine itself. Krishna, more than just a teacher, embodies the very stream of universal consciousness, steering the lost warrior's heart even when his rational mind collapses. It is in this sacred, trembling terrain, born of desperation and longing, that the first of these 5 signs appears. A sudden certainty, inexplicable and clear, signaling that one path resonates with a purpose far beyond your comprehension. Have you noticed that subtle breeze of conviction in moments of chaos? When reason falls quiet, an inner voice calmly insists, "This is the way." The sages of old recognized this as a direct touch, the fingerprints of spirit guides gently lighting up your inner compass. Across a continent, the Dhammapada, Buddha's distilled wisdom, preserved in India around 300 years before the Common Era, echoes this truth. The spirit that learns to still itself, the Buddha teaches, finds not only tranquility, but revelation. Intuitive nudges and gut feelings in this tradition are fragments of awakening flashing through the fog of daily life. Every verse in the Dhammapada is a mirror for consciousness. You must receive with your full being, not with half senses. Pay attention to gentle inner alarms, those odd hesitations before acting recklessly, the sudden surge of courage in the face of fear or doubt. These warnings and invitations are more than just evolutionary quirks. They are dispatches from your guides, guarding and directing you from the shadows of the unseen. For Taoist sages thousands of years ago, life was a seamless tapestry, woven together by human destiny and the rhythms of nature. Lao Tzu, in his Tao Te Ching, taught that the Tao, the way behind all things, expresses itself through quietness and simplicity. Every falling leaf, every strange change of weather, every animal crossing your path intentionally. These are the puzzles through which the infinite speaks. The way itself is your guide, and harmony is attained through an attentive ear for the messages revealed by the natural world. When flocks of birds suddenly cross above you, when bizarre weather descends without warning or a rare animal repeats its appearance, take these not as curiosities, but as living signs. The universe speaks in metaphor, and those who decode this language discover a secret roadmap for existence. In the Tibetan tradition, crystallized in the voice of the silence, transcribed by Blavatsky from ancient precepts, it is said, "When the disciple is ready, the master appears." That appearance is rarely literal. Far more often, it emerges in a sequence of intense dreams, waking visions, or sudden flashes of insight in the borderland between waking and sleep. Vivid, recurring dreams, strange archetypal symbols, and mysterious presences in your sleep. These are the classic calling cards of your spiritual guides. Anyone who attends to these messages as real as anything daytime could offer, understands that dreams are sacred packages of personal guidance delivered to the threshold of your subconscious. Begin tracking your dreams. Ask, which symbols and archetypes come again and again? What hidden eyes seem to watch and guide you through the gates of sleep? Upanishadic sages, writing in India between 800 and 300 years before the Common Era, taught that sleep leads us not just to rest but to journey through inner worlds. Sleep, for them, opens the door to higher self, where the boundaries between self and divinity fall away, and crucial teachings are received. Each recurring symbol, each nightly dialogue, every voice or surreal image in dreams, these are keys that, if heeded, break you out of habitual patterns and upgrade your destiny. To dream of water may point you inward, to emotional depths. To fly may be a sign you are ready for liberation from the old. These are not random firings. They are invitations, spirit messages squeezed into code, yours to unpack and translate. Spiritual signs are in no way empty superstition. They are glimpses into a multidimensional conversation, a secret dance that weaves together ancient memory with the urgency of your modern soul. To ignore such messages is to cast away the sacred map, and to walk the journey alone, without the company of those who have, across the ages, sought to guide you home. A powerful, unbroken resonance connects the trajectory of your soul with the great song of signs that echo through the universe. Initiates and sages have always known. There is a language beneath language, a grammar of strange events and uncanny feelings, and spirit guides are its secret composers. Among all the manifestations, some arrive so forcefully that no skepticism can withstand their pressure. Certain signs force you to step beyond habit and recognize reality with new eyes. Dreams and visions that blaze with otherworldly clarity. Across the mystical spectrum, no portal is older or more democratic than the world of dreams. In the Upanishads, texts revered for their insight into hidden consciousness, the dream state is not a mere mind game, but a living bridge between the individual soul and the cosmic totality. Deep sleep and vibrant dreams, these sages insisted, are the gates where divine messages cross into personal awareness. Consider then those potent, near-lucid dreams you sometimes have, repetitive, charged, and full of symbols you can't quite shake. Ancient wisdom insists these are not accidents. They are the curriculum of your spirit guides, encoded for those paying attention. In ancient Egypt, dreams were a main line to the gods themselves. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, crafted from around 1550 to 50 years before the Common Era, contains spells and prayers specifically to keep the soul conscious and receptive as it drifts through the worlds of sleep and death. For an Egyptian priest, a sacred animal in a dream, a god in disguise, or a recurring symbol carried immense weight. These were interventions, direct contact from guides across the veil, bearing codes to unlock fateful lessons or steer you from invisible perils. The odd images you remember on waking might well be encrypted signals from your spiritual helpers. Meanwhile, the Homeric hymns, composed in ancient Greece, tales from 800 years before the Common Era, offer solemn accounts of gods visiting mortals in dreams. Zeus, Athena, Apollo, these cosmic intelligences appear in visions, delivering warnings or missions through fantastical scenarios. The soaring eagle, the rumbling storm, the impossible message whispered in the night, behind each, a certainty that no one is ever truly alone. Every soul is part of an immense, woven cosmic drama in which higher intelligence is always observing, always intervening. East again to China, and the I Ching, the Book of Changes, one of humanity's oldest oracles. The I Ching teaches that synchronicities, omens, and patterns in sleep are not random events, but the signature of universal law, manifesting as direct communication from spirit guides. To consult an oracle, to dream odd dreams, is to dialogue with the undivided order of all things, receiving needed answers with extraordinary clarity when your surface mind has nothing left to offer. Why do so many intense dreams arrive just before life's turning points? Ancient masters explained, when your soul is ready to step through a threshold, your guides cluster closer, sending intensified signals so you cannot ignore the crossroads. Letting those dreams drift away is like discarding instructions for the next part of the quest, refusing invitations meant for your freedom, healing, and discovery. Begin to map these nocturnal journeys. Who are the forms that stand beside you? What places do you visit again and again? Write them down, meditate, contemplate. These are the letters your spirit guides send from the other side of sleep. When the message is loud enough, it leaks into waking life as déjà vu, as new insight, as persistent urge. Your guides are laboring with you, night after night, to keep your essence aligned with the great purpose you incarnated to fulfill. Every dream, every vision, every lingering residue in the morning points to a higher calling. The universe bends down, conspiratorially, hoping you'll finally catch the pattern and say yes to the next revelation. But the lineage of ancient wisdom does not stop with inner promptings or dream messages. There is a third sacred channel, woven into the tapestry of the material world itself. These are the signs in nature, Earth's oldest and most direct language, used by spirit guides across the millennia to connect with humanity. Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, echoing from before the 4th century, before the Common Era, repeats the simple truth. The Tao speaks through nature. It is attentive watching, not restless action, that unlocks reality's codes. The way water moves, the sudden flight of unusual birds, the persistence of a particular animal, the strange blooming or withering of plants, all are living sentences in the universe's lexicon. Every pattern repeated in the natural world was read by Taoist masters as a divinatory act. In nature's mirror, you see both the present and possible futures. Take the I Ching again, the sage of change. For more than 3,000 years it has taught. Every recurring pattern is a message. Whether it appears through omens, weather, or living creatures, a repeated event is the universe's signature on your current chapter. The very practice of casting coins and drawing hexagrams is a conscious act of seeking the universe's advice through the changing forms of the world. Back in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks of cosmic order, the codified precision of everything alive. Leaves, stones, and sunlight all pulse with cosmic information, meant to guide sensitive souls. To awaken is to see the world not as a background to your story, but as an active participant. The blossoming tree, the wind, the licking waves, the circling hawk, the gaze of an animal, all can be signals. Each moment of random natural wonder, if interpreted, can become direction or confirmation from your guides. The Egyptians were masters at this craft too. Priests studied sacred animals, watched the sky, read the river's moods. In their Book of the Dead, if a snake crossed the path of a traveler, this was not mere chance. It was an omen, either warning or blessing, direct from invisible hands shaping your fate. The Homeric hymns add, when a god announces a sign, to ignore it is to invite loss. fate spins on the acceptance or disregard of these subtle natural messages. Nothing in nature repeats for no reason. Every symbol, every anomaly, every persistent creature is a bridge, a message from the unseen meant to open a door, prevent a fall, or hint at a new destiny. Next time the world outside tries to get your attention, pause. Ask, what am I being shown? What is the secret invitation here? It's time to reawaken this ancient skill, to listen deeply to the world around you. For countless centuries, the elements have been the mouthpieces of spirit guides. The wind's direction, the shape of clouds, the behavior of animals, all call you to reconnect. See nature not as background, but as a cosmic novel meant solely for you. In the secret pathways of ancestral wisdom, a fourth sign appears, perhaps the most stunning and undeniable: synchronicities and divine messages. These are events that seem impossible, that shatter the constraints of chance and rationality, revealing that invisible threads weave every part of your life. The universe is not chaos, but a vast web, its order visible only to those who learn to watch. The I Ching is a timeless instruction manual for these mysterious intersections. Whenever a sequence of numbers, words, or encounters repeats with eerie persistence, whenever one symbol haunts you in unlikely places, your guides are at work. Each answer from the oracle, each pattern, is a message. What appears as coincidence is choreography. Buddha's Dhammapada raises this patterning to enlightenment itself. The awakened one learns to spot these patterns, decoding them as timely warnings or confirmations. Mystics of all stripes report this experience. Life suddenly falls into uncanny order, doors opening with precision, chance meetings upending old plans or offering new hope. Everyone knows stories. You think of someone you haven't seen in years, and at that exact moment, they call or appear. A book opens to exactly the quote you needed. The same number shadows you as you face vital decisions. The Bhagavad Gita reveals, when Krishna exposes his cosmic form to Arjuna, every element lines up, each thunderclap, every particle, falls into harmonious place. Everything resounds in cosmic synchrony for your soul's evolution. In Greece, such patterns were the Moira, the sacred threads of fate, proof that the gods' intent was never random. In Egypt, stories abound of priests noticing uncanny alignments. Animals, objects, people passing at the exact right time, signaling a decision, unlocking miracles. To change your life, you must learn to expect the sacred surprise. When rare events align, when symbols and sequences echo irresistibly, ask, what meaning wants to emerge? What am I being called to understand, choose, or release right now? Synchronicity is your spirit guide's signature, the sign that all is connected and you are never alone, that the next key, the next answer, the next step is arriving in precise, if mysterious, order. To join this dance is to become a conscious partner in your own transformation. As your awareness sharpens through intuition, dreams, nature's signs, and synchronicity, there emerges a fifth, most intimate sign: deep inner communication. This is not a vague instinct, but a voice unmistakable, your spirit guide present within your very soul, speaking in the silence between your thoughts. In the voice of the silence, distilled from ancient Tibetan teachings, this is described as, when all is still, the true voice speaks. Not the churning noise of ego or fear, but a deeper knowing, calm, precise, loving, yet firm. It instructs, consoles, redirects, and, when necessary, refuses to be ignored. In your confusion and turmoil, when nothing outside offers guidance, suddenly this serene inner presence emerges. Go here. Trust this. Wait. Ancient mystics found that the more they honored this presence, the clearer and more miraculous it became. In Indian wisdom, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, this voice is Buddhi, the spiritual intelligence that arises after deep purification and devotion. It is a direct visitation from spirit guides, a higher intelligence recalibrating your decisions, warning of danger, or confirming moments of destiny. The Taoists called this Wu Wei, action harmonized perfectly with the greater way. Moments of crisis or profound decision most often draw this guidance forth. When you are still enough, present enough, you become the channel for this voice, and your choices start aligning effortlessly with the universe's design. Egyptian priests kept internal diaries, recording revelations that appeared in meditation or in moments of deep quietude. They called these direct messages from the gods within, and used them to guide every action, keeping alive a lineage that extends into your own heart. In modern experience, this communication comes as a distinct voice in meditation, a wave of clarity in crisis, or an undeniable compassionate impetus to act for good. The more you heed it, the more your life becomes luminous, guided, protected, not just for you, but for all you touch. This voice remains through all confusion, all fear, all doubt. Silence the distractions, honor your solitude, and let this presence speak. The answers you seek will arrive not through outer noise, but through the voice that's been waiting, patient and constant, since before you were born. Understanding this sacred spectrum of signs, subtle intuition, luminous dreams, nature's wonders, impossible coincidences, and the quiet voice within, is the key that reawakens divine power and mystery within you. The ancients did not spin myths for idle comfort. Every story, every teaching is a roadmap. In our distracted age, this wisdom is more urgent than ever. Each recognized sign draws your soul closer to one simple, awe-inspiring truth. You have never walked alone. Spirit guides attend you with timeless care, unveiling secret maps, reviving lost gifts, and drawing you ever closer to your soul's purpose. When you start reading these signals, obstacles begin to dissolve, and what once seemed random or hostile becomes loaded with guidance and grace. In every great sacred tradition across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Europe, you find the same advice. Begin with your own heart. The Bhagavad Gita calls you to self-mastery and to trust the infinite wisdom echoing within. The Dhammapada insists on vigilant awareness, teaching you to see signs without falling for blind superstition. The Tao Te Ching whispers that the smallest moment holds the biggest answer. Each detail in nature a message to imitate in spirit. Humility, harmony, openness. The ancients were not trying to amuse us with legend. They left us, instead, a toolkit for awakening, a technology for transformation, survival, and transcendence. To discover these 5 main signs your spirit guides send is to finally accept the invitation to create a life aligned with truth, authenticity, and the sacred secret behind all things. The next time intuition insists on a choice, when a dream visits with promise or warning, when nature performs its odd repeat performances, when synchronicity breaks the ordinary, or when your heart's deepest chamber vibrates with an unmistakable directive, pause, receive, and give thanks. These are not accidents. They are invitations, maps, and keys offered in love by consciousnesses beyond time. You are and will never be abandoned. By aligning with these signs, your mind will expand, your heart will grow strong, your intuition will become second nature. You will discover peace amid chaos, direction amid confusion, and a sense of luminous connection where none was felt before. You will awaken the inherited powers of ancestors, those who, like you, once searched for meaning and passed along the wisdom you now hold in your bones. Consult the ancient texts, the Bhagavad Gita, Dhammapada, Tao Te Ching, Voice of the Silence, Upanishads, I Ching, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Homeric hymns. In their pages and the subtle codes they teach, there is one message, repeated with infinite patience. You are in the right time, receiving exactly the call meant for your soul. The greatest secret is this: the signs never end. As long as your soul yearns, as long as your heart aches for meaning, as long as you remain alive to wonder, your guides will be there, sending signs, opening doors, and guiding you home. Let your very perception become an altar. Let your questions become song. Let your gifts become offerings. The signs are waiting for you to notice, to surrender, to trust. In that instant, you will discover the journey has never, for a moment, been solitary.